After grumbling under her breath, Lamong turned to Lihue. Sister, you must make a purchase, and don't settle for anything too cheap. He is already driving a 3 million yuan G-Class. You should at least pick one up for around 1 million. Hearing this, Lihue hurriedly waved her hand in protest. No, I won't buy it. Shen Yuan smiled and said, Don't talk about 1 million. Even 2 million is no problem. Just pick one out. I am free today, and can accompany you both to choose. Upon hearing this, Lamong could only hold her head in frustration. Damn it, he has found another opportunity to show off. Nearby, Liu's cheeks flushed with happiness, and the favorability points above her head rose to 73. Seeing this, Shen Yuan thought to himself, extracting wealth from Miss Li is difficult. It doesn't even compare to the rebates I receive from Coach Liu and Hui Hui. If it weren't for the fact that my relationship with Lamong cannot be made public, I would have already bought one for her. Given Lamong's personality, she certainly wouldn't hold back. She would at least select a vehicle in the 3 million yuan range. At that same moment, at Fei Bin's residence, the phone began to ring. With his eyes still heavy with sleep, he reached out blindly to grab the phone and answered. Hello? A male voice spoke from the other end. Bin, the investigation is complete. That man is Shen Yuan, a third-year student at the University of International Business and Economics. His family used to operate an overseas travel agency, but he is currently managing a health management firm himself. Hearing this, Fei Bin instantly snapped awake and sat up. A health management firm? Isn't that in the same industry as my family's business? What is the company called? The man replied. Jingfu. Armed with this information, Fei Bin said with satisfaction, I understand. He then lit a cigarette and took a long drag, thinking, so the former owner of Jingfu was Shi Wangquan, someone I am acquainted with. The company was originally intended to be sold to my family, but someone stepped in and snatched it away. I was wondering who had bought it. It turns out it was this brat. Does he think he can flaunt his wealth in front of me just because he bought a second-rate company? Just wait and see how I crush you. Meanwhile, at a certain cafe, Jing Kangwen was sitting with his cousin. After listening to the conversation, Kangwen asked anxiously, Cousin, did you inquire about Shen Yuan just to report back to Fei Bin? GFA calmly replied, My father is counting on business dealings with his family. What else can I do? Fei Bin holds grudges, and his methods of retaliation are ruthless. Perhaps you should warn your classmate. Kang Wen laughed. Shen Yuan is my classmate. I will pass on what I know. However, Shen Yuan is not the type to be easily bullied. GFA asked in surprise. Oh? Why do you say that? Kang Wen lifted his coffee cup, took a sip, and explained. Shen Yuan's family travel agency went bankrupt a long time ago. His current assets have absolutely nothing to do with his family. He earned them entirely through his own efforts. He is a first-generation entrepreneur. Fei Bin is nothing more than a second-generation rich kid. They are simply not in the same league. GFA countered. Jingfu would have cost at least tens of millions of yuan to acquire. How did your classmate manage to acquire so much capital? Kang Wen set down his cup and replied, I am not entirely sure, but I heard it may have been through cryptocurrency and foreign exchange trading. GFA remarked, finance and business management are two very different fields. He has no prior management experience. I still fear he will stumble under Fei Bin's hand. The Fei family has significant influence. In this industry, the strong devouring the weak is commonplace. Kang Wen crossed his arms and retorted, that remains to be seen. GFA advised, if you truly have a good relationship with him, you ought to warn him properly. He adjusted his glasses and continued with a knowing look. Fei Bin's character is wretched. His father placed him in charge of a health and fitness center in the Yuelu district, and he proceeded to cause chaos throughout the company, specifically targeting the wives of his own managers. One manager could not bear the humiliation and beat him severely. Although Fei Bin has been slightly more restrained since then, a dog never changes its nature. Kang Wen asked, what does this have to do with him targeting my classmate? GFA replied, I am merely clarifying his character and style of operations. As for how much you wish to warn your friend, that is for you to decide. Hearing this, Kang Wen pulled out his phone and said, understood. I will call him. 5 minutes later, after listening to the full account, Shen Yuan said gratefully, Kang Wen, thank you. Kang Wen replied, don't mention it. Your information leaked from my end, and I feel quite embarrassed about it. Shen Yuan thought to himself, Yu Jifeng left the health center because his wife was harassed by that man. Could it be that the person responsible was this very same Fei Bin? He then asked, by the way, why is La Binjing associating with someone like Fei Bin? Her family background was the best in our class, wasn't it? Didn't her father move the company to Yanjing? Kang Wen explained. Her father was convicted of illegal fundraising involving billions of yuan. He was sentenced to 18 years in prison in the first instance. Her family is now more modest than any other student in the class. Shen Yuan finally understood and asked, what does Fei Bin hope to gain by approaching La Bingying? Kang Wen replied, La Bingying's mother's yoga studio is operating at a loss, and she wants to sell it. but no one wants it except Fei Bin. However, he agreed to purchase it on the condition that La Bingying becomes his girlfriend. Her mother told them to get to know each other first, but Fei Bin has declared that he will sign the contract only once there is actual progress, meaning a physical relationship. Shen Yuan remarked, "Thank you for telling me all of this. I know what I must do." On the other end, Kang Wen said, "We have been classmates for years. There is no need for such formalities." Shen Yuan hung up the phone and thought, La Bingying's mother is truly foolish. If they truly have a Shen Yuan physical relationship, and Fei Bin gets what he wants, why would he bother taking over a failing yoga studio? Since Fei Bin is already sniffing around me, he is bound to take action. And he harassed the wife of old Yu? Perfect. I will settle the new and old debts together. With that, he dialed Yu Jifeng. Old Yu, I know the reason why you left your previous job. I only have one question for you. Was the man's name Fei Bin? On the other end, Yu Jifeng hesitated before replying. President Shen. That is correct. Shen Yuan asked with a serious tone. Do you seek vengeance? Yu Jifeng replied with an anxious voice. Of course I do. However, President Shen, we live in a society governed by law. Last time, my anger clouded my judgment, and I paid a heavy price for it. Shen Yuan interrupted. I never suggested we resort to violence. We are civilized people. Everything will remain within the bounds of the law. As for your next steps, the original record cuts off here, so the details will become clear soon. It is unclear what Shen Yuan said, but Elder Yun was seen breaking out in a cold sweat, his entire body trembling as he asked, President Shen, is this truly appropriate? Shen Yuan replied with a smile. Why wouldn't it be? To deal with a person of that caliber, one must employ unconventional methods. Follow my instructions and proceed as planned, Elder Yuan then asked. Very well. But if I may be so bold, President Shen, what exactly did that man, Fei Bin, do to offend you? Shen Yuan replied. He is not even worthy of offending me. I am simply looking to restore justice and vent some frustration on your behalf. Is that not acceptable? Yu Jifeng started to speak, then let out a long sigh and replied, Understood. In his heart he thought, I am not a child. What could you possibly gain by deceiving me? His gaze sharpened. But regardless of the motive, once President Shen had personally proposed a plan, it could only be a good thing for him. After all, this was a debt of vengeance for the theft of his wife. Ending the call, Shen Yuan sent a message to Mo Zhenwang. Old Mo, are the internet trolls you mentioned before still active? I have need of them in the coming days, Mo Zhenwang replied. They are indeed. The brothers have been quite restless lately and are ready to act on your command at any moment. Shen Yuan replied. Good. Await my signal. Shortly thereafter, Li Xiao and Lemeng emerged, dressed in stunning outfits. Li Xiao asked gently, We are ready. What about you? Shen Yuan approached and pinched her cheek, praising, You look beautiful. Seeing this, Li Xiao remarked, Don't do that. You'll ruin my makeup. Shen Yuan responded with a mischievous expression. Then I shall touch somewhere else. Lemeng bashfully replied. Stop teasing, Shen Yuan. Watching this scene, Lemeng could not help but feel dissatisfied. I changed my clothes and applied makeup as well, so why won't you even look at me? Just as this thought crossed her mind, Shen Yuan turned around and gave her a thumbs up. You look beautiful too. This single gesture immediately changed Lemeng's mood, and she thought with a secret smile, Hee, I suppose I will forgive you for now. When will I be able to walk arm in arm with my brother-in-law, just like my sister? Suddenly, Li Xiao turned back and called out excitedly, Hurry, hurry! The elevator has arrived. Watching the two of them holding hands, Lemeng could not help but feel a pang of bitterness, though it seemed that such a possibility would never be hers. Just as that thought settled, Lemeng's eyes suddenly widened. Shen Yuan had unexpectedly reached out to pinch her behind, asking with a suggestive look, What is my partner brooding about now? Lemeng put on an indignant face. You only know how to bully me all day long. A while later, the three arrived at a car showroom. Looking at the BMW in front of her, Li Xiao turned and said, This is too expensive. We shouldn't buy it. Shen Yuan then led her to look at a Porsche. But Li Xiao waved her hand. Still too expensive. Let us not waste the money. This time, Shen Yuan spoke with finality. Advisor, let us take this one. We cannot choose anything of a lower grade. Having said that, he turned to the salesperson. Calculate the preferential price. If there are no issues, we will place the deposit today. The salesperson replied, Certainly, sir. I will calculate it for you immediately. Li Xiao pulled his sleeve to stop him. Shen Yuan, I am just an ordinary teacher. Driving a car as luxurious as this truly is not fitting. Shen Yuan replied, You are not the school principal, so why worry about what others might say? Precisely because you are an ordinary teacher, no one will dare to gossip. Observing the scene, the salesperson thought to herself, This won't do. If this beauty continues to hesitate like this, my large commission for today might slip away. No, I must take action. Immediately, the sales assistant approached to sway Li Yi's state of mind. Miss Li Yi, You are merely an ordinary teacher. No one will whisper or cast judgment. Le Ye asked with confusion. Why would they? The sales assistant explained with a beaming smile. Think about it. If a high-ranking official drove such a car, people would immediately suspect corruption. But if an ordinary teacher drives it, people will simply assume your family is well off or that you have found a wealthy husband. Lamong, standing behind them, added, That's right, sister. Don't overthink it. Shen Yuan has so much money he doesn't even know where to spend it. If you don't help him spend it, who will? Hearing this, Le Ye finally hesitated and relented. Very well then. Standing to the side, Shen Yuan began to weigh the situation in his heart. He did not mind how much money he spent on his tutor. Her position in his heart was no less significant than Nana or Tuesday's. Nana already owned an MC-20 worth over 2 million yuan, and he had bought a house and furniture for Tuesday worth over 3 million. Buying a car for his tutor was only a matter of time. Calculated this way, his tutor was actually the one who had received the least. Seeing that the opposition had softened, the sales assistant immediately seized the moment, presenting the contract. Ms. Lemay, please review the contract. If there are no further issues, please sign here. Le Ye took the pen, replied, Very well, and signed the document. As soon as the ink dried, Shen Yuan stepped forward and whispered into her ear. Now that the car is settled, let us find some free time to look at houses. Le Ye blushed, waving her hands in a hurried refusal. No, please don't. Shen Yuan, stop buying me such expensive things. Seeing her intense reaction, Shen Yuan chose to yield. Fine. I will not bring it up again for now. He thought to himself that it was better to wait until she was accustomed to driving. He would find another opportunity to suggest a house later. A threefold rebate from the system had already entered his account. Combined with today's profit of 2.04 million yuan, his cash flow had officially surpassed the 50 million yuan mark. Once everything was settled, Le Ye walked over and took Shen Yuan's arm. Shen Yuan, I have 2 months of break, so I won't have many chances to drive. Lamong has to catch a ride to work every day. Would it be alright if I let her borrow it for these 2 months? Shen Yuan smiled and replied, Of course, you can decide for yourself. The car is yours now. He thought to himself that Ms. Li Kei was truly thoughtful and always considered others. By asking for his opinion, she was protecting Lamong's pride, ensuring she would accept it, even if he were present. Just then, his phone rang. Shen Yuan answered, Hello, Director Du? What is the matter? On the other end, Du Keifeng spoke. President Shen, I have obtained what you requested. The videos and message history detailing Fei Bin's debauchery. Hearing this, Shen Yuan said with satisfaction, Good. We will end the call here. He then sent a message to Mo Zhenwang. Old Mo, the goods are prepared. It is time to begin. 2 hours passed quickly. At the offices of NHAC Tich, an older man stood before Fei Bin's desk. President Fei. Our store is located right next to Canfook, and we have been in healthy competition. If we escalate the rivalry now by slashing prices and expanding street marketing to poach customers, I fear that not only will Canfook cause us trouble, but other fitness centers in the area will also join forces against us. Fei Bin frowned. Join forces against us? With what strength? To fight me, one must possess actual capability. Canfook lacks the scale and the manpower. What could they possibly use to challenge me? The man spoke up nervously. President Fei, that is only one concern. There is another. Our current staffing is at maximum capacity. If we slash prices, the number of members signing up will skyrocket, and our fitness instructors will be unable to handle the load. We cannot recruit enough staff in such a short time. Fei Bin stood up abruptly and scolded. Why don't you just go do charity work instead? You claim our instructors can't handle it. But I see that you are just the one afraid of being overworked, the man replied. President Fei, even if they could handle it, slashing prices directly lowers our brand prestige. Our orientation has always been the high-end market. Fei Bin's face turned purple with rage. He slammed the table and roared, Enough! I ask you to do a simple task, and you provide nothing but excuses. I will ask only one thing. Can you take down Canfook or not? I am tired of your nonsense. If you cannot do it, get out of my sight. I will hire new people. You are all useless wastes of space. At that moment, a knock sounded at the door. Fei Bin said irritably, Why are you knocking? Just come in. A woman walked in, looking anxious. President Fei, you must look at this. Upon seeing the image on her phone screen, Fei Bin's face immediately drained of color. He shouted, All of you, get out! On the screen was a short video clip featuring a blurred figure. Hello everyone, I am an employee in the fitness industry. I am making this video today to expose a shocking darkness concerning one of the largest fitness chains in the city. I am one of the victims. To my knowledge, there are many others within the company, but they have either been coerced by the power held by that person or have been silenced with money. But I can no longer hold my silence. I must speak out. Today, I will give everyone a preview. At exactly 9 a.m. tomorrow, I will reveal the entire truth to the public. Watching this, Fei Bin broke into a cold sweat. When was this video posted? The woman replied, Sir, it was posted just a short while ago. Fei Bin asked again, Who posted it? The woman answered, It is a brand new account. We can only track the IP location to the city. Hearing this, Fei Bin turned purple with rage. He slammed his phone against the table and roared, Damn it! It has only been a short time, and it already has such a massive amount of engagement. This is clearly orchestrated. Who exactly is targeting me? Watching her phone being mercilessly smashed, the assistant couldn't help but feel the sting of the loss. President Feisha, be angry if you must, but please do not take your frustrations out on my phone. Fei Bin turned, his expression stern. Can you make contact with the person who posted that video? The young woman replied. They have disabled direct messaging. There is no way to reach them. Fei Bin gritted his teeth. Since he didn't expose everything immediately, he must be planning to extort me. The problem is, I have no idea who is behind this. Hearing this, the woman asked, President Fei, have you offended anyone recently? Fei Bin retorted, How is that possible? I haven't been doing anything reckless at the company. Then, as if recalling something, he added, Though, if you want to talk about offending, there is one. But it wasn't I who offended him. It was he who offended me. Thoughts of Chen Yuan's face while he was cursing him flashed through his mind. It couldn't be him, could it? That bastard gave me an earful. And I haven't even had the chance to settle the score. Why would he be the one to strike first? Suddenly, a realization struck him. Wait, his lackey, Yu Jifeng, defected to Jingfu, and Chen Yuan is now his boss. But I only just held a meeting to discuss this matter. How could that rat Chen Yuan have caught wind of it so quickly? This cur has no regard for the rules. We are supposed to be civilized people engaging in business competition. Why resort to such low-level, petty tactics? At the same time, the Jin brothers were looking at a phone. Chi Fat asked, Is this video the work of that classmate of yours? Kong Van replied, I'm not entirely sure, but there's an 80 or 90% chance it's him. Upon hearing this, Chi Fat let out a hearty laugh. Ha! Your classmate moves quickly. He just got the news this morning and has already laid it bare. He struck right at Fei Bin's Achilles' heel. Kong Van nodded. Chen Yuan has been like this since middle school. He strikes with ruthless precision. If anyone is to blame, it's Fei Bin. Of all people to provoke, he chose to provoke Chen Yuan. Just then, a phone rang. Seeing the caller ID, Chi Fat remarked, Speak of the devil. That piece of trash is calling to fish for information. He's really thirsty for the drama. Kong Van chuckled. Pick it up, cousin. Let's see what kind of scheme he's plotting. Chi Fat answered. Hello? Bin? What's the matter? From the other end, Fei Bin asked irritably, Did your brother go and report me to Chen Yuan? Chi Fat immediately countered. How could that be? My brother and Chen Yuan are just former classmates. They aren't close at all. Hearing this, Kong Van quickly covered his mouth to stifle his laughter as Fei Bin's voice rang out again. Ask him for me then. Who exactly leaked my affairs to Chen Yuan? Chi Fat held back his laughter and replied, Fine, I'll ask, but I make no promises regarding the result. Fei Bin continued. While you're at it, tell your brother to dig up some dirt on Chen Yuan for me. Hurry, I'll be waiting for your update. As soon as the call ended, the two brothers burst into laughter. Kong Van jeered. Is this man a fool? People are going to expose him tomorrow morning, and only now is he looking for dirt? Wait half an hour, and tell him Chen Yuan is a man of both virtue and talent. There is no dirt to be found. Besides, tell him you aren't close to Chen Yuan and don't know anything else. Chi Fat gave a thumbs up. You know how to play the game. Very well, do as you said. Kong Van pulled out his phone again. I'll send a message to Chen Yuan to update him on the situation. On the other end, Chen Yuan read Kong Van's message and thought to himself, My income from the inspection is legal, transparent, and clearly sourced. Furthermore, I am currently one of the top 10 outstanding students in the foreign language department, and have a high chance of being named one of the 10 outstanding students of the entire city next semester. What dirt could possibly exist on me? The only stain is that there are perhaps a few too many women around me, but unlike Fei Bin, I don't make a habit of laying hands on other people's wives, so even if they dig, it will lead to nothing. He smirked. Fei Bin, you are truly naive. Once I decide to dismantle you, I won't give you a single second to breathe. He then messaged Mo Zhenwang. Release some more hot material. The comments and likes must exceed the previous post. Create a sense of overwhelming momentum. Zhenwang replied. Understood. I will arrange it immediately. Half an hour later, upon receiving the report, Fei Bin could not believe his ears and shouted, What? There isn't a single shred of dirt on him? Damn it all, how is that even possible? Just then, a figure entered. Fei Bin asked sharply, What is it now? The young woman held up her phone. President Fei, look at this. This new video is even more popular than the last one. Over 2,000 comments and 10,000 likes already. President Fei, this is escalating rapidly. The audio on the phone played. At 10 o'clock tonight, the identities of the two protagonists in the text messages will be revealed. Seeing those lines, Fei Bin instantly recognized them as the history of his solicitation of Yu Jifeng's wife back then. Furious, he roared. Damn it! This is a threat. A blatant, open threat. Seeing the look on Fei Bin's face, the woman suggested timidly, perhaps we should seek a truce with that person. Fei Bin cast a death glare at her and hissed through gritted teeth. What did you say? Internally, he panicked. This must not reach the ears of my father or grandfather, or I am finished. Thinking this, he grabbed the woman and commanded, Go! Invite Chen Yuan out for me. Tell him I am treating him to a meal at a private room in the Nanjing restaurant. Tell him he must come. The woman, her cheeks flushed and trembling, replied, Understood. I will handle it immediately. President Finet, please, let go.